There are people who are bringing unnecessary warfare into their life because they don't know when to be silent. When God speaks to you, what a lot of people don't get is that you are not to share everything. There are some things that God has to be able to trust you with, what He tell you in secret and private. And then there are things that He gives you to give out as a warning to people, to the nations, to whoever, depending on your assignment. I'm going to say that. But there are people who give out every message, every conversation, everything that God or they talk to God about. And that is not a wise thing to do. The Lord has to be able to to trust you with something. With something. How can He trust you? And a lot of people don't understand it. And a lot of people will get angry about that. But honestly, how can He trust you when you cannot keep one word that you have a conversation or He speaks to you about privately? You tell everything that He does. You tell every plan that He has for you and every plan, and you wonder why people are rising up against you. You're causing unnecessary warfare that you shouldn't even actually be going through, as a matter of fact. That you're not only bringing upon you, but you are bringing upon your household. Now, if you are not keen to knowing about spiritual warfare and how to pray and combat it, you are in a world of trouble. The thing is, you think that you're walking in obedience. Yes, you can be obedient to God, but the thing is, God is not telling you to tell everything. Okay, that's what people don't understand. And sometimes I understand that people think that if they don't tell everything, that means that they're not being obedient. God has to trust you with something. Because a lot of things that people are giving out, honestly, is actually for them to build them because they are still struggling. A lot of times when I hear people dreams and stuff that they have, a lot of times it's to do with them. Because God is actually going to start with you. He's going to start building with you. He's going to start getting things out with you. And he's going to work with you. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that a lot of things that they have, a lot of dreams that they're having are actually about themselves. And God will give you dreams, depending on who you are, even about not only you, but other people. And those are the ones that He will let you know to also give out, but also caution, because everything has to be about timing, because it's not wise to give out things at that moment in time, especially if this is something that you are going through at that moment, even though other people are going through it. It's best for you to defeat it first and then give the message out. So that's you have to, like I said, you have to go to the Lord about things and allow the Lord to show you, because just because you have a message that night does not mean that you put it out the next morning. A lot of dreams actually come in part. A lot of things, that's what people don't understand. For instance, I had a dream many years ago. And at that time, the dream was not finished. I didn't know the meaning. I didn't know anything of it, but I kept it. And it wasn't until I think it was like 5 or 6 years later, I had the rest of the dream. And that's when I knew that the dream were finished, because I got the interpretation of the dream. Now, if I would have been like a lot of people, like they do rush out, I would have gave a partial dream. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing the meaning, not knowing what it meant, not knowing not understanding it or anything. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. They give out dreams, and a lot of the dreams are not even finished. And it's actually can be hurtful, not only to you, but for other people as well. And also giving out dreams that's actually meant for you, and a lot of people take hold of it, can be detrimental in someone else's walk. It's okay if you say you had a dream. Let's just say God lets you know to release a dream, and you have a dream because you know it's going to help someone else's walk, and you defeated something. And now you say this dream was not for anybody else, but it actually was for you, but you're releasing it so in case if it helps someone, it can. That's why you have to go through and say it, not make it like the dream was for everybody else when in fact it wasn't. It actually was for you. That's what causes confusion. That's what causes people to grab onto things and think it's for them when in fact it's not. Whether it's good or bad, that's the way how people are. And let's just say God is blessing you and you give out a dream, blessings with other people, but God didn't say it was for other people. Nowhere in the dream it even hinted that it was for other people. It actually was for you. And so now you're giving out that dream and having people think that it's actually for them when in fact it's not. It was literally for you. So a lot of people is getting discouraged. A lot of people is getting angry, not understanding, especially like when you are talking to God and you have a relationship with the Lord. A lot of things is done with confirmation. That's why you don't go to people for answers. You don't do that. I had to learn that for the hard way. But you don't go, even for a lot of times I've learned not even for advice, because especially depending on what God is doing in your life, it could actually hurt your walk. Go to the Lord and ask Him what His plans are for you in your life and how He wants you to do things, because no two are alike. Just because we have been through similar things does not mean that God is taking us down the same path. And a lot of people need to realize that. Just because you dream does not mean you know the interpretation. Just because you do all this does not mean that you are actually that you are. And not to mention, when you dream apart as well, what I've realized as well, and what I was told, that there are other people out there with those same dreams as well, and it's like a puzzle piece. A lot of times, let's just say if there's something on a bigger mass scale, it's massive, and there are people out there with pieces to the puzzle as well, to a dream, a prophecy, and all that kind of stuff. And it's like in part, what I'm saying, for a bigger picture. That's why you got to allow God to show you, give you the interpretation and tell you when to release it and for whom, and all these times, instead of you just going ahead and after you have it to release it right then and there. Because a lot of times things is for a certain period of time. It's for a time, not at that moment, but it's for a future time. And a lot of people need to understand that. And I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not.